Stoney in for Costa. All right. We have some texts that I want to get to before we talk about what happened Saturday night in the college basketball world. They did overtime like that because they had to get the closing ceremonies. That's what I figured. Bill says they played their asses off for 60 minutes. You know the game's going to be over in under 5 minutes with the best players in the world out there. Even though we won, there was an empty taste about it. Really? I didn't have an empty taste about it at all. I just prefer the 5-on-5 format. And so the 3-on-3, while it's not my favorite format, doesn't give me an empty taste.
No.
If you're going to make it 3-on-3, play like basketball overtime, 5 minutes, most goals win. Oh, that's ridiculous. Sudden death it should be. Hey, Grandpa Stoney, the game changes. You probably still hate masks and helmets. No, I don't hate masks. The helmets make it harder to figure out who players are sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Because in the days when you didn't have helmets, the hair would be, Bob Nystrom of the Islanders. He had the blonde hair flowing and things like that. So, yeah.
You can still flow it underneath the helmet.
I know.
See it in the NFL.
McJesus was on his second shift in overtime. Maybe he was tired as his back check was just a bit late. Sorry for your loss. Good morning, guys. Notice how it's always the loser that complains about the overtime rules. Great show. I'm kind of complaining too. Well, not complaining. I just prefer the other way. NHL players perhaps negotiated this to limit long game injuries. Same rules, same numbers, more fun. That's possible. And finally, I love the 3-on-3. It's Jim in the Cayman Islands. All right. Saturday was the duel in the district. Duke versus Michigan in a big non-conference game between the top-ranked Wolverines and the third-ranked Duke Blue Devils. That'll probably change later today. Duke wins 68-63. My first question that I've really had about Dusty May as a game coach, unless there's something that I missed, because I watched the game where we didn't have really a lot of sound on because it was at a bar restaurant. That's a whole different topic. Why LJ Kayson has been playing great lately? Why did they specify why he only played 14 minutes?
I don't think Dusty necessarily addressed it after.
It's 7 points in 14 minutes. Cadeau was awful, and then he got hurt too. Burnett wasn't any better. Burnett plays more than Kayson, and he was horrible. Kayson has been really good the last 2-3 weeks. I don't understand why he didn't play more.
I don't have an answer for you. I guess I can only speculate as to why that would be. And we've seen him, Dusty being, sit guys down that he didn't feel were having their best game.
Right.
And so maybe there was something in warm-ups, the two missed free throws. I don't know if there was just something that he thought, hey, LJ Kayson is just not having his day, so I'm not going to put him in.
He was 3 for 6 from the field. He 1 for 2 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else, their 3-point shooting was horrible. And, people try, what can we learn from this? I thought it was a good loss, if a loss can be termed good, because you learned a little bit about your team, I think. You know that you have to be able to rebound the basketball and play better defense and don't get caught on some of the switches where they had a lot of uncontested threes. They didn't make all of them, but uncontested threes. The fact that Michigan got out-rebounded 41-28, it was startling to me. And, they couldn't shoot better than 24% from the field. So,
right.
Yes, it just shows you they're certainly not infallible.
I think we've had this semantical argument before about a good loss.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that it was a good loss, but I think there are, and we won't know until they get to the tournament, is there value that they can take away from this loss? And then if you look back and say, okay, well, they meet Duke again at a neutral site in the tournament and they come away with the win, like how do they play better in that situation? Or even if it's not Duke, if it's Arizona or if it's Houston, there can be valuable lessons learned in a game like this. And I think it was perfect for both teams.
Yeah. Obviously,
it was more perfect for Duke because they won. But to have that neutral site, it was a tournament environment. Now, it wasn't lose and go home.
No.
But or lose and your season's over. They all had to go home. But if it just to me was something that Michigan is not accustomed to. And having matchups like that at the end of the year, and there can be some valuable lessons taken. Now it's a matter of Dusty, can he teach those valuable lessons, and will the players learn from it?
The other thing I noticed that I think it was Pete Thamel. I didn't realize he was doing any basketball, but the Duke requested and they used the ball that they used during the NCAA tournament as opposed to the Nike ball that
Michigan uses.
Yeah, so they wanted to create a complete environment for their players at a neutral site. They might have to go play in Washington in the first round, I believe, or
that's a regional final.
Regional final. So they prepared for everything. It was a good job by Duke.
Duke also plays with the Nike ball.
Yes, so they gave so that was smart, and it was good that maybe that led to Michigan's poor shooting. I have no idea.
Duke didn't shoot it much better, by the way.
I know.
I'm not a huge believer that the
ball makes
the basketball. The company that makes the basketball makes that big of a difference.
I don't know. Supposedly it has a different feel to it. I have no idea.